you see, from a failed idea of hanging a banana, you can learn so much. Imagine what if you had a better idea, an idea that's not going to explode. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have a great idea to share with you. And this idea is called Liberating Education. The word liberation means to grant freedom. And by liberating education, this idea is a dream of making education free and accessible for everyone. There will be people who fall behind. They cannot retain as much knowledge because everyone has different learning abilities and learning styles. I know of people who, it's not because they're lazy or it's not because they refuse to learn. These people are really hardworking people. They take notes in every single class. Yet, these people are the ones who cannot understand lesson because they simply need to go through lesson multiple times again and again just so that they can understand a lesson. And your teacher only goes through the lesson once. You can't expect your teacher to be outside the staff room telling you the same thing over and over again. That does not happen usually. And let's not forget, what if you fall ill? What if you fall asleep? So people who can afford it, they go for tuition. They spend more time learning. And this is a kind of interaction, a kind of learning that you cannot get from encyclopedias, you cannot get from assessment books. You can ask, when you have a question, you can ask your teacher. But when you have a question, you can ask the book. Book, answer this question. Book, answer that question. Book, why aren't you answering me? It's not possible to get that same experience. And many people go for tuition. But what if you're stuck in a situation where you cannot afford tuition and you need it to catch up with your peers? You need it so that you can stay focused in class on what the teacher's going through the next lesson. You'll be stuck in a situation where you pretty much don't have much, you don't have anything to really use to catch up. And we think this is a limitation. These are financial limitations. We decided that we have to do something. We will make education free and we will make education good. And we created Open Lectures. Open Lectures is an online platform. It comprises of free lectures and we offer it to you in the Singapore curriculum. We offer it to you anytime, anywhere. And this is our idea of liberating education. We sat down and thought about what exactly do students need. If I was a student, which I am actually, I would want to be able to replay my teacher as and when I like. I want to be able to replay him or her anytime, anywhere. We also sat down and thought about what exactly do we need to replicate. When I'm sitting down in a classroom, I look at the teacher looks at me. I'm listening to the teacher talk. I'm looking at the teacher write. And a slide just furiously flash by the screen and I just keep copying down things. And that's how majority of learning takes place. And this boils down to actually just three main things. This boils down to you, the student, or you, the teacher, and the whiteboard. And those are the three basic elements that make our education. Of course, we've come a long way since then. We no longer have a whiteboard, we now have a computer. And you no longer have to look at, if your teacher's not very good, the ugly handwriting or the ugly diagrams. You now have fancy slides and fancy videos. And we are taking these three basic elements of education out of the classroom. We are going to put them in video, and we will put it on the internet for everyone to use. So now you can have access to education anywhere. You get to decide where your classroom is, whether it is on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, whether you are at home, in school, or on the bus. You can have access to education free. Just last week, we met this girl on the bus, and she was watching one of the lectures on her phone. And from far, she looks like she's catching the latest episode of Running Man. But no, she's looking at trigonometry. She's looking at lines, shapes, and angles. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what we set out to create. We don't want your education to be isolated within four walls and a whiteboard. You can do it anywhere, essentially. And even if you're more comfortable thinking in the toilet, we don't see why not. Because when you watch a lecture, it is just you, the content, and the lecturer. There is no one else. We've essentially taken your tuition, we digitized it, and then we put it on the internet. Now anyone can view it.